October 24, 1944. The Vosges Mountains, France. The forest is choking on fog. Freezing rain needles down through pine branches and turns the ground into black mud. Every step sucks at your boots, every breath hurts your lungs. Somewhere out there, hidden by mist and trees, are German soldiers. A lot of them. Technical Sergeant Charles Coolidge doesn't know exactly how many. He only knows this: he's alone. Coolidge steps forward through the fog and nearly walks straight into an entire German infantry company. Dozens of men, rifles, machine guns, helmets ghosting in and out of the mist. He's carrying a single M1 carbine. Most men would freeze. Some would run. Charles Coolidge does neither. He straightens up, raises his voice, and does something so absurd it almost sounds like a joke. He orders them to surrender. One American sergeant against an entire German company. For a split second, the forest goes silent. Then the bluff collapses. The Germans open fire. Rifle cracks echo through the trees. Bullets snap past his head. Dirt and bark explode around him. Coolidge dives for cover, scrambling back toward the hilltop where his men are dug in. And just like that, a 4-day siege begins. Charles Henry Coolidge was not supposed to be here. Before the war, he was a printer from Signal Mountain, Tennessee, a quiet trade. Ink-stained hands, long hours hunched over presses. He didn't ask for glory. He didn't ask for leadership. The army gave it to him anyway. By October of 1944, Coolidge is a technical sergeant in the 36th Infantry Division, fighting its way through eastern France. The Vosges Mountains are nothing like Normandy. The enemy isn't retreating. They're dug in, hidden, waiting. Coolidge is ordered to take Hill 623. 12 men. That's it. And most of them are replacements, kids who've been in the army for 2 weeks. Green. Nervous. Still learning how to tell incoming from outgoing fire. Coolidge knows what that means. It means if they panic, they die. The Germans know Hill 623 matters. It controls the road, the forest, the approaches, so they come in force. By nightfall on October 24th, Coolidge's platoon is surrounded. No radio contact, no artillery support, no hope of relief. Rain turns to sleet, then snow. Foxholes fill with icy water, fingers go numb, rifles jam, men shiver until their teeth chatter uncontrollably. And the Germans keep coming. Day 1. Day 2, Day 3. The attacks come in waves. German infantry probe the lines, machine guns rake the trees. Mortars drop in with hollow thumps that echo off the mountainside before tearing the ground apart. Coolidge moves constantly. He crawls from hole to hole, slapping shoulders, shouting encouragement, repositioning men. When one freezes, he shakes him. When another breaks down, he pulls him back and sends someone else forward. He exposes himself again and again, standing up to draw fire just to find where it's coming from. They're outnumbered at least 10 to 1, and somehow Hill 623 holds. Hit the like button if you think a printer from Tennessee is tougher than a German tank battalion. Dawn breaks on October 27th. Day 4. The fog lifts just enough to reveal something new. The Germans stop sending infantry. Instead, the ground starts to vibrate. A deep, metallic clank. Steel tracks grinding over frozen earth. Tanks, 2 of them. They push forward through the trees, crushing saplings under their weight, their armor slick with moisture. Behind them, German infantry advances cautiously, using the tanks as moving shields. One tank rolls to a stop 60 yards from Coolidge's position. The engine idles. Then the hatch opens. A German tank commander rises up, calm as if this were a training exercise, and he speaks perfect English. "You are surrounded," he calls out. "Surrender now." It's not a threat. It's a statement of fact. Coolidge doesn't hesitate. He shouts back his refusal. No speeches, no drama, just no. The tank commander disappears back inside the hatch. Metal slams shut. The engine revs. The tank starts forward. Coolidge knows what's coming. He grabs the one thing on the hill that might stop a tank, an M1 bazooka. He has 3 rockets. That's it. No second chances. He steps out of cover. 25 yards. That's the distance. Close enough to smell the exhaust. Close enough to hear the squeal of metal as the tracks pivot. The tank's gun slews toward him. Coolidge shoulders the bazooka. Aims. Squeezes the trigger. Click. Nothing. The electrical ignition fails. He tries again. Click. Dead. The most advanced weapon he has is useless. No time to fix it. No time to think. Coolidge throws the bazooka aside like trash. Then he starts grabbing grenades. Everyone he can carry. He doesn't charge the tank. He crawls. Low. Slow. Using shell holes and brush for cover. And here's the part that separates desperation from genius. He doesn't throw the grenades at the tank. He throws them behind it. The German infantry, following the armor using it as cover, suddenly finds itself under explosive attack. Grenades detonate in the trees. Shrapnel screams. Men scatter. The infantry support breaks. The tanks hesitate. Without infantry, armor is blind. Coolidge keeps throwing. One grenade, then another, then another. The forest erupts. The German attack stalls, confused, disorganized, unsure how many Americans they're facing, because no sane man would do this alone, and that confusion is enough. By every rule of war, Charles Coolidge should already be dead. He's exposed, outgunned, standing in front of a machine designed specifically to erase men like him from the battlefield. The tank inches forward. The gun barrel lowers. Inside that steel box, a German gunner is lining up a shot that will turn one American sergeant into red mist. And Coolidge is holding grenades, small cast iron eggs meant for rooms and trenches, not armored beasts weighing 30 tons. He pulls a pin. The sound is soft, almost polite. A faint metallic tink. Then he throws. The grenade disappears beneath the trees behind the tank. Boom. The blast punches upward, shredding branches, sending splinters and steel fragments screaming through the air. German infantrymen dive for cover. Some don't make it. Coolidge pulls another pin, throws again. Another explosion. The forest becomes chaos smoke. Screams, shouted orders colliding in the fog. The infantry no longer trust the tank to protect them. That's the secret. Tanks are terrifying until they're alone. Without infantry, they're blind giants. Coolidge crawls closer. Mud soaks his uniform. Cold bites through his knees and elbows. Machine gun fire snaps overhead, but it's scattered now, panicked. He keeps throwing. Grenade after grenade, each blast pushes the Germans farther back. Each second he's alive is another second that shouldn't exist. The tanks stop advancing. Then, slowly they begin to reverse. Tracks grind, engines roar louder. The infantry pulls back with them, dragging wounded, firing sporadically into the trees, as if the forest itself has betrayed them. Hill 623 falls quiet. Not peaceful quiet, the kind that rings in your ears after an explosion. Coolidge stays in position, scanning the woods, waiting for the next wave. It doesn't come. The Germans have had enough. They don't know how many Americans are up there. They don't know how many grenades are left. They don't know why their tanks were stopped by a single man with no bazooka, and uncertainty is poison on a battlefield. Only after the enemy withdraws does the exhaustion hit. Coolidge's hands are shaking, not from fear, but from cold and adrenaline, bleeding out of his system. He looks around. Every man is still alive, cold, filthy, terrified, but alive. These weren't veterans. These weren't hardened killers. These were replacements who, 4 days earlier, were still learning how to dig foxholes properly, and none of them ran, because Coolidge didn't. Leadership isn't rank, it's gravity. When things fall apart, men fall toward whoever stands firm. By nightfall, the Germans are regrouping again. Coolidge knows the truth. If they come back in force, there's nothing left to stop them, so he makes the call. They withdraw under cover of darkness, one last act of discipline after 4 days of chaos. Coolidge goes last, always last, covering every movement. If someone stumbles, he's there. If someone freezes, he pushes them forward. Not one man is left behind, not one body on the hill. Here's the part they don't teach in manuals. This wasn't luck, It wasn't strength. It wasn't superior weapons. It was audacity. Coolidge broke the enemy's expectations. A lone sergeant demanding surrender. A bazooka that fails at the worst possible moment. A man attacking tanks by ignoring the tanks entirely. The German commander did everything right and still lost, because war isn't just math, it's psychology, and Charles Coolidge shattered it. When the reports make it up the chain, they sound impossible. Outnumbered 10-1, 4 days surrounded, enemy tanks repelled, 0 casualties. The paperwork moves slowly as it always does, but eventually the army recognizes what happened on Hill 623. Charles Henry Coolidge is awarded the Medal of Honor, not for killing, but for refusing to let fear decide the outcome. After the war, he goes home, back to Tennessee, back to ink and paper, no speeches, no career military life, no chasing fame. He lives quietly for decades. When he dies in 2021, at 99 years old, he is one of the last living Medal of Honor recipients from World War II, a relic of a generation that did impossible things and then went home without asking for applause. History remembers tanks. It remembers divisions and offensives and arrows on maps, but sometimes the entire direction of a fight hinges on one man who refuses to behave rationally. A printer, a hill, a broken bazooka, and a decision to attack anyway. Because surrender is easy, and courage, real courage, is choosing to move forward when every logical voice is screaming at you to stop. If you want more stories like this, stories where the impossible actually happened, subscribe to WWII Records. Because the war wasn't won by machines, it was won by people who refused to step aside when history pointed a gun at them.